The cold air bit through Sergeant Marcus Lane's scarf as he adjusted his rifle's scope. Perched atop a crag of blackened stone, camouflaged in white frost and ash, he exhaled slowly. His finger hovered near the trigger, steady, waiting. A kilometer below, the Kilorian convoy shimmered with energy shields and arrogance. "Visual confirmed," whispered Private Rios through the calm. "Target, Zelthos' envoy. 10 grunts, 2 guards in armor, 1 command transport." "Same bastard from yesterday." Marcus didn't answer. He was locked in, breathing synced with the wind, scope dancing lightly across exposed visors, power nodes, and weak points only experience could identify. The Kilorians called them primitive apes. But today, he'd carve a hole through that arrogance. Inside the Kilorian command vehicle, Commander Zelthos Karak leaned over a captured human rifle, inspecting it with mild disgust. "This?" he scoffed, tapping the barrel. "Metal, gunpowder. Ancient mechanics. No guidance systems. No plasma convergence. It's quaint." His adjutant, a tall creature with 4 emerald eyes and twitching mandibles, nodded. "The humans believe these are effective. They also believe rain dances bring storms," Zelthos muttered. "Their resistance is stalling only because we allow it." He waved a clawed hand, signaling his guard. "Clean up the perimeter. I want no interruptions during transport." Up above, Marcus whispered to his rifle like an old friend. "Center plate. Wind steady. Light diffraction off armor. No movement." He felt the moment, not calculated, not planned. It was instinct honed over 1,000 breaths. The shot cracked like thunder. The Kilorian guard to Zelthos' right jerked violently. His armor, dense, pressurized, energy-fused, split open with a sound like metal sighing under stress. The alien dropped to his knees, eyes wide, then toppled sideways. Chaos erupted. Shields flared. Commands barked in alien tongues. Zelthos didn't duck, he stood, staring at the gaping wound in his soldier's armor. That was impossible. Marcus was already crawling backward, sliding between frost-laced rocks, disappearing like a ghost into the snow. "Confirmed kill," said Rios as Marcus regrouped behind a ledge. "You hit him. Through the chest plate." "Wasn't aiming for a warning," Marcus replied coldly. He tapped his earpiece. "Radio silence. Move to fallback ridge." They didn't run, they shifted. The sniper team, for hardened souls trained to be invisible, relocated along narrow crevices only a seasoned mountaineer could navigate. Back in the Kilorian transport, Zelthos stood frozen. "Sir, the projectile." "Silence," he snapped. He bent low, inspecting the shattered armor. The slug had deformed on impact, but still, it had gone through. No energy. No plasma. Just mass, speed, and gravity. Human science. He turned slowly to his adjutant. "This changes nothing. Find that shooter. I want his body delivered in pieces." 3 hours later, Marcus's team settled into a new position. "I counted 2 decoys," said Corporal Davis, chewing dried meat. "They still haven't learned." "They won't," Marcus said. "They don't need to. Not until they start dying scared." Rios smirked. "Well, they're starting now." Marcus didn't smile. He was checking wind vectors again, watching the sky, the cloud cover. "That shot won't win us the war." "No," Davis added. "But it's a hell of a message." Marcus didn't look up. "That was the point." Zelthos paced in the mobile command center, his claws clicking on the metallic floor. "Begin perimeter sweeps. 20 units. I want their sniper found before nightfall. But Commander, the terrain. I don't care if they hide under the ice or inside a glacier's breath. Humans do not get to threaten my command." There was silence. Then, "Yes, sir." But in that silence, something shifted in Zelthos' mind. A tick of unease. The armor had failed. Not by accident, but by human design. Night fell over Alpine Zero like a blade. Marcus lay flat on the edge of a ridge, eyes on his scope, breath invisible in the freezing dark. Behind him, Rios whispered. Think they'll come for us? Marcus didn't blink. They'll send scouts. We'll let them. He watched the valley where faint blue glows flickered, Kilorian helmets. Just as expected. They had sent a search party. He aimed again. You're not going to fire, said Davis. That's bait. Marcus's reply was simple. So are we. In the command center, Zelthos sat alone, replaying the impact frame by frame. Through armor, he whispered. He picked up the human rifle again. Ran a claw along its barrel. It was ugly. Outdated. Heavy. But it worked. He tapped into the tactical feed, eyes narrowing on the search unit's progression. If humans could kill with such tools, what else were they hiding? Zelthos clenched the rifle tighter. Primitive. He muttered again, but now, not with contempt. With fear. Snow crunched under Marcus Lane's boots as he signaled a halt. The ridgeline above them was narrow and treacherous, carved by melting ice and artillery blasts. He raised his hand, 2 fingers in the air. Hold position. Behind him, Private Rios crouched low, scanning the valley below through infrared goggles. For hostiles southwest slope. Same configuration, tripod scouts. Armor glows like neon at night. Marcus checked his scope, tracking the movement. They're getting bolder. Patrols are tighter. They think we're scared. Davis muttered, unslinging a fresh clip from his belt. Or they're scared, and they're pretending not to be. Marcus didn't answer. The enemy was adapting, yes, but not fast enough. Far below, Commander Zelthos stood before a holographic projection of Alpine Zero, its jagged terrain marked with a growing spiderweb of search paths and flagged ambush points. He traced a claw across the map. Pattern analysis. What's the average time between strikes? Approximately 10 Earth hours, replied the adjutant. The snipers strike and relocate before detection. They leave no bodies behind, only ruins. Zelthos narrowed his eyes. They don't kill for numbers. They kill to shake our confidence. A junior officer hesitated. Perhaps the humans possess sensor cloaking? No, Zelthos snapped. What they possess is patience. Precision. 2 things we've dismissed as primitive. The map pulsed. Another Kilorian patrol, Unit 19, offline. Marcus's breath curled in the cold as he watched another Kilorian squad stumble through the mountain's lower pass. The terrain was working in his favor now, cliffs forced tight formations, and wind-masked muzzle flashes. Davis whispered. 2 minutes till optimal wind shear. That your window? Marcus nodded, aligning his scope. The crosshairs hovered over a Kilorian's exposed power node, a thumb-sized panel near the neck joint. I'm not aiming for the kill, he said. Then what? Fear. He fired. The shot split the still air. The round hit a boulder inches from the lead Kilorian. The squad scattered, shouting in their clicking dialect. One slipped, fell, and dislocated a leg in retreat. They'd never seen the shooter. Never even heard the crack. Night crept in early. The mountains swallowed sound. Marcus's team hunkered in a narrow ice cave lit only by a soft thermal lantern. Their breath misted, mixing with exhaustion. Rios tore open a ration pack. They're panicking. That last squad left behind a plasma lance. Didn't even try to recover it. They're not trained for this kind of war, said Davis, leaning against the rock wall. They expect shields and numbers to win. But up here, Marcus finished for him. Up here, numbers make you slower. Shields make you easier to track. Rios glanced at Marcus. You ever think we're pushing too hard? What happens when Zelthos sends everything he's got? Marcus wiped down his rifle. Then we break them all at once. Zelthos watched footage from the retreating scout squad. Their panic was raw. It radiated through the audio, clicks of fear, confusion. The ambush hadn't even drawn blood, yet it shattered morale. Commander, said his adjutant, we found traces of movement, human trails. South Ridge. Small team. Good, Zelthos said. Let them see us coming. Marcus stared through his scope, lips tight. A convoy was moving in from the south, bigger, louder, sloppier. They want us to bite, he murmured. Rios tapped the side of his helmet. Zelthos must be getting desperate. No. He's trying to lure us into open ground. Davis cracked his neck. So we bite harder. Marcus grinned, brief, sharp. Not yet. We make them think they're winning. The next 2 days blurred into bitter cold, shifting winds, and calculated silence. Marcus's team moved like shadows, never leaving footprints, never doubling back. They observed. Probed. Set traps not with bullets, but with illusion. On the third night, Kelorian soldiers stepped into one of those illusions, a heat decoy shaped like a human figure, placed precisely behind a rock outcrop. A sniper drone fired. Nothing. Then Marcus fired, once, from the opposite ridge. 2 Kelorians fell. One to the chest. One to the panic of the other's scream, stepping backward into a crevasse. Zelthos smashed his armored fist into the tactical console. Every patrol lost. Every movement anticipated. They're tracking us, Commander. No, he hissed. They understand us. And we don't understand them. A pause. Then, issue the order. I will lead the next strike myself. Marcus lay flat, watching the stars. They looked brighter this high up. He didn't feel them, didn't wonder about them. Just observed. Rios whispered. You think he'll come? He has to, Marcus replied. We've humiliated him. He needs to restore dominance. Davis muttered. Or he's baiting us again. Maybe, Marcus said. But I know his pride. He's not a tactician. He's a predator. That makes him predictable. The snow fell heavier that night. Ghosts moved through it. And high above, Marcus Lane chambered a new round, the barrel of his rifle aimed at the coming storm. He didn't need advanced tech or plasma-guided sights. He only needed one clear shot, and the perfect moment to take it. The storm broke just before dawn. Sleet howled through the granite teeth of the mountains. The cold wasn't just cold anymore, it clawed. Visibility dropped to feet. Snow draped the ridges in silence. Perfect cover. For most. Not for them. Marcus Lane watched as Zelthos' elite Kelorian force advanced with the subtlety of an avalanche. Heat signatures everywhere. They were hunting with drones now, four-legged machines that glided like wolves, sniffing out any deviation from normal thermal patterns. 17 hostiles, 3 drones, Rios whispered, watching the scanner flicker in the frost. They're sweeping every ridge with synchronized grid movement. They've adapted, Davis muttered. That's new. Marcus lay prone beside a buried overlook, unmoving. No. They're reacting. There's a difference. He zoomed in through his scope. Zelthos was here. He recognized the heavy silver trim of his command armor and the distinct gait. Kelorians didn't walk with rhythm. Zelthos marched like he believed the planet owed him a path. Targets in the field, Marcus said. Now we bait him. Commander Zelthos ducked under a jagged overhang, inspecting his soldiers' flanks. His armor hissed as it adjusted thermal pressure. The temperature drop meant nothing to him. Not when victory was close. He turned to his second, Lieutenant Havoc. The sniper is ahead. I can feel it. These humans telegraph their desperation in silence. Havoc nodded. Thermals suggest recent presence. Faint prints, deliberately obscured. Zelthos smirked. A clever mouse. But eventually, the cat blocks every tunnel. An hour later, Marcus led his unit deeper into the ravine, an intentionally risky route, previously avoided. He knew Kelorian logic, patterns, risk thresholds, resource calculations. The kind of path a man only takes when he's desperate, or trying to look like it. This'll lead them straight to us, Davis warned. Exactly, Marcus replied, setting another trip sensor into the snow. And it'll lead them only to us. He tapped the map on his tablet, an augmented scan of the terrain with blinking markers. We trigger our collapse zone here. he said, pointing to a narrow cliff pass. As soon as the bulk of their forces commit, we blow the ridge. Divide them. Zelthos won't go down that easily, Rios said, checking his charge. Even if we split them, we'll still be facing high-ground scanners, drones, and armor that eats bullets. Marcus loaded a fresh round into his long rifle. That's why I'm not bringing bullets this time. Zelthos' forward line approached the kill zone. The pass ahead narrowed, funneling between two stone walls sharp enough to pierce tank plating. Natural death trap. Too obvious. That's what made it perfect. Send the drones through first, Zelthos ordered. The machine scurried forward, legs twitching. Then came the explosion. Not loud, controlled. A series of clicks, then a snap. One half of The sun cut through the clouds at noon like a blade. White mist rose from melted snow, cloaking the alpine pass in shifting fog. A quiet hung over the valley, thick, expectant. No gunfire. No footsteps. Just wind and vapor. Marcus Lane lay motionless at the edge of a jagged cliff, the barrel of his rifle stretched out over empty space. The lens on his scope flicked green, thermal, distance, wind speed. One last scan. Then movement. Zelthos. Alone. He stepped through the mist like a phantom in silver, his once pristine command armor now scuffed and darkened by soot and blood. No escort. No drones. Just him, and whatever was left of his pride. Marcus exhaled. He came. Behind him, Rios adjusted his position. This is suicide. His or mine? Marcus asked. Davis spoke into the comms. We've confirmed it's him. All signals matched. What now? We finish it, Marcus said. But not with panic. With precision. Zelthos paused at the foot of a ridgeline. His voice echoed against the stones. Sniper! You hide behind rocks. I stand before you, unafraid. Marcus remained silent, his crosshairs trained on the commander's throat, exactly between the armor seals. Zelthos stepped forward. You've killed my soldiers. Humbled my name. But you haven't won. Still no response. I studied you now. Zelthos continued. You rely on silence, terrain, deception. You shoot once, then vanish. But you can't shoot forever. Eventually you run out of space. Out of time. Marcus clicked his mic. You already lost the moment you walked up that hill. Back at their fallback point, Davis pulled a long cable. A charge lit softly in the rocks, a low hum vibrating underfoot. EMP ready, he whispered. On your mark, Rios added. Marcus didn't flinch. Not yet. Zelthos reached the summit. The fog thinned behind him, revealing a shattered Kilorian formation in retreat. His voice lowered, bitter. Do you know what it means to fail in my empire? There is no exile. No trial. Only disgrace and execution. Marcus adjusted his scope. I'm counting on it. He fired. The shot was impossibly fast. Clean. Focused. It hit just beneath the collar, piercing the seal with surgical precision. Zelthos staggered backward, gasping. The round hadn't struck his heart, but it cracked the seal between armor plates. A fatal vulnerability. Marcus pressed his calm. Now. Davis triggered the EMP. A pulse surged through the ground like lightning. Drones shorted out mid-stride, collapsing like metal insects. Power shields blinked and died. The Kilorian advantage, gone in an instant. Rios scanned the valley. They're exposed. All of them. Pull back, Marcus ordered. Let them see their leader fall. Zelthos dropped to one knee, blood weeping through the crack seam in his armor. His breathing grew strained, the impact knocking clarity from his vision. He looked up, not to the sky, but toward the cliffs. And finally, he understood. Humans didn't fight with strength. They fought with resolve. With calculation. With the will to exploit arrogance. He ripped off his helmet, his voice a growl. Show yourself! Marcus stood, slow and deliberate, revealing his silhouette atop the ledge. Zelthos locked eyes with him. No words now. Just recognition. Marcus lowered his rifle slightly, not in mercy, but acknowledgement. Zelthos, bleeding, collapsed backward. The fog swallowed him. Later, when the retreat began, Kilorian troops left behind armor, weapons, even transport modules. The myth of invincibility had shattered with one bullet. One sniper. One moment. In the mobile human outpost beneath the ridge, General Carter shook Marcus's hand. "You broke them," she said. Marcus stared at the map. "They broke themselves," he replied. "I just gave them the mirror." Davis chuckled from the cot. "You gave them a bullet through the jaw. Don't be modest." Rios walked in holding a cracked piece of Kilorian armor. "This was supposed to be impenetrable." Marcus took it, running his thumb across the jagged hole. "It is, until you find the weak spot." That night, the team sat around a small heater. Silence wasn't heavy anymore. It felt earned. "They'll regroup," Davis said. "Maybe," Marcus replied. "But next time, they'll remember this. They'll hesitate. And that," Rios added, "is where we win." Far beyond Earth, in the heart of the Kilorian Empire, the report of Zelthos' failure reached the inner circle. A senator hissed, "He was defeated by primitives." Another corrected, "No. He was defeated by humans." They fell silent. And in that silence, something ancient stirred, fear.